Hello and welcome back to Dark Readings News Desk, live from Black Hat 2023. My name is Becky Bracken. I'm an editor with Dark Reading and hosting our next set of News Desk conversations. Up next, I am thrilled to welcome Andréanne Bergeron, Ph.D., yes, and Olivier Bilodeau. Am I close?
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Perfect.
you. I was worried about butchering those names. Welcome to you both. I'm thrilled to have you. Okay, so you all presented interesting piece of research. It's called I Watched You Roll the Die, Unparalleled RDP Monitoring Reveal Attackers Tradecraft. It's a lot of title and I love it. What I'd like to start with first is remote desktop protocol attacks are prolific and deadly. So I would like to know more about sort of why they're a popular target and why they're of such interest to cyber criminals.
So it's ripe for opportunistic attackers because they can scan the internet and find these forgotten systems. You know, and most of the time they are some stuff that shouldn't be exposed that is exposed. And also, like some cloud providers by default will allow you only to access your system via RDP, Azure, for instance. So then it means that once you deploy a system, it is accessible via RDP, which means that attackers can try to do credential stuffing attacks and stuff like that. RDP is so attacked that it is the second most infection vector for ransomware outbreak. And only phishing attacks are like before that, so clicking on links. But so it is a domain that needed some attention, some research to understand how people are attacking it and be able to provide advice to protect themselves.
Okay, so Adrian, talk to us about the research and talk to us a little bit about, I know that you said that you identified there were 5 profiles of behavior. Can you run through those for us just so we have an overview?
Of course. We recorded the sessions on RDP. Okay, so we have an honeypot, and then attackers connect to it, and then we analyze their behavior. It's like the tool that Olivier developed is outputting all the connection as video footage. So this is what I analyzed, and we analyzed during this research. So we identify different patterns of behavior.
Okay.
So different profile. So yes, I can describe it to you. And we team all our presentation in the Dungeon and Dragon team.
Okay.
This is not my idea, of course.
Certainly, I assume.
But as always, I jumped in. So the name of the character are based on the Dungeon and Dragon. So the first one is the Ranger. Okay, this is the one who will explore all the files, run reconnaissance through script or through clicking their way through. They are evaluating the system, our system. You know, maybe for someone else to connect later. Okay, so this is the first behavior that we see. The second profile is the thieves. So the thieves will try to monetize the RDP access in many different ways. So using proxyware, monetized browser, crypto miner, all kinds of things. The third one is the barbarian. So they are trying to brute force their way into more computers. So they perform a large array of different attacks by brute forcing, and they do it through our system. The fourth is the wizard. The wizard is the one who is who has the highest level of skill.
Okay.
So they use our RDP to connect as a portal to other computers. So they use it as a jump over compromised host, and they hide their traces behind.
Very well, because they're skilled.
Yeah. So they are the one that you don't want on your system.
That's the worst
They're
case.
very good at what they're doing, right? And the last one, just because they are not all very good, it's the bard. So in Dungeon and Dragon, the bard is like the small contributor, and in this case, the individual in this category are not very not skilled at all, but they don't have the hacking skills. It seems like someone hacked the system for them, and maybe they bought access from someone else.
That's what I was going to ask you. Where do the sort of the access broker, the salesman, where do they fall in those profiles?
I get like according to what we saw up to here, because
Yeah.
the research is never done, right?
Right.
But maybe like the ranger is the one evaluating and then selling, like as an initial access broker to the last category, who basically just do like simple Google search about viruses or even watch porn.
So, yeah, which is, you know, it must make it a more complicated task to defend because you've got people with all different motivations, all different skill sets, all different. So, what did you find? I mean, what is your top line takeaway that you want blue teams and I guess you said there was a deep law enforcement component. So, I'd like to know more about that as well.
So we think that RDP systems are used by ransomware groups a lot, and because they mount their phishing attacks from them, because it removes attribution to their origin. So if they use their own ISP, law enforcement could attribute back to them, like and ask ISPs like, please let me know who this IP address was, and then they could arrest people. So they use compromised RDP system to mount their attacks. In the Wizards case, for example, they even use jump hosts. So if you think about, if you analyze such a threat actor with only metadata, so you only look at RDP in, RDP out, IP addresses, ports, like the emails for phishing, for example, you would see SMTP traffic to Office 365 and Gmail, Google. So you would have little data to mount a case. Now imagine if you do lawful RDP interception. So you are authorized to deploy our tool, open source tool, by the way,
Oh, okay.
to do that. Then instead of having just broad metadata, you see what they are doing, you see them click, you see the target, the victims. So the takeaway for us, for both blue teams and law enforcement, is if you do deploy something like PyRDP, our open source tool, then you can really understand the victim. So you can go after the victim, ask them, and then you have a case to prosecute on the civil side and on the criminal side. So we think that there should be more lawful RDP interception in order to really, like, even if it works only 10% of the time, it will scare 100% of them. As soon as this is known, they will change their behavior. They will be less, they're really arrogant right now. Like they feel like they can do cyber criminals right now feel that they can do anything on the internet and will never get caught because of our borders and because it's complicated to prosecute
Certainly.
in other states. But if they see impact like this, I think it can really alter their behavior. They will tone down. They will be more careful, which will protect all of us if you want them, right?
And so tell me a little bit more detail about what kind of data is the tool giving you that a typical analysis won't?
Yeah. So it's a complete interception of the RDP protocol with like encryption being removed. It's not putting anything at risk, right? Encryption is being removed on the system. We do the collection and then encryption is created back. So it's not adding risk. But so what's collected now that you have unencrypted raw data, you can collect everything that RDP can collect. So you have the display. So you see the desktop. It's very visual, like she was saying. Like we feel like we have surveillance cameras on hackers. So you have the desktop images, everything they see. You have the mouse pointer, where it is, what they click on, the stuff they do. You have the keyboard. So these are stuff you can anticipate. But what we discovered as we were mounting these types of attacks or this type of interception is you also have the clipboard and you also have files that are transferred to the system. Mm-hmm. So you get a lot of intelligence around the hacking tools that they use, the custom like reconnaissance script that they use, a lot of Defender, Microsoft Defender, disabling techniques that I didn't know, that I wasn't aware of, that are now documented thanks to our research. So there's a ton of intelligence that is collected.
Where can our audience learn more? Where can they check out your research and find you?
So we both work at GoSecure. We have a blog post that will link to the Black Hat presentation. Black Hat will host our PowerPoint. I think they are probably online right now. But so it's how I watched you roll the die, so it's the
Easy to find. Excellent. Yeah. All that's on the Black Hat website. If you have any other questions, please reach out to them for GoSecure. Thank you so much, Andréanne and Olivier. Appreciate your time today at the news desk.